Hey you guys. So today I wanted to talk about some of the things that I did on my New York trip. So recently me and a friend, we went to New York City, and what I wanted to talk about was some of the places that we ate, some of the things I recommend, as well as earlier, I believe it was sometime last year, I talked about The Outsiders becoming a musical. So I wanted to talk about that. Just a little bit of things here and there, and like some things given it was my first time, you know, what I very much recommend, given, of course, what you want to do. And then, maybe some things that I would do a little bit differently. So, where we stayed was essentially in the Times Square area. So, we stayed at the Hyatt Centric, and essentially, it was a very good point for a lot of the things that we wanted to do. So, we were closer to Broadway, we were closer to a lot of the things like with Times Square, a lot of those places and sites, and it was not too much of a trek. Now, we also did take some walks. One day we went a little bit more north to go see Central Park, as well as tour around the American Museum of Natural History. That is something, if you really like museums, very much recommend. They kind of cover different things when it comes to animals, people and regions, essentially, different cultures, what the history that was going on there. They had an exhibit on gemstones, which me and my friend, we very much enjoyed because we love gems. And then within that gemstone, they had an extra area where then you could see essentially like celebrity jewelry that different celebrities had worn. So you'll see like Nicki Minaj's Barbie necklace. You'll see Lil Nas X. He had grills for his Montero video during that time when that was released, Call Me By Your Name. And, different celebrities from, you know, different time periods, more so like pop culture. They also had an exhibit on meteorites. They had, of course, dinosaurs, which I was very happy about. And they also had a planetarium. We did a CityPass, so I very much recommend that if there's extra things that you wanted to do. So with the CityPass, you're able to pick from Empire State Building Observatory, Guggenheim. I forget what the ship is. That was one of them. The Statue of Liberty in Ellis Island, which is one of the things that we did. The 9/11 Memorial Museum, the museum that I just mentioned, the American Museum of Natural History, as well as many others. There are other things that you can pick as well. So that's something I very much recommend if that's what you're kind of looking to do, any of those things. But then we went around Central Park for a little bit. So that was one day that, yeah, we had to do a little bit of a trek. It was about a 40-minute walk, but we liked walking, so that was fine. Then we spent some time more on the southern end of Manhattan, where you will see Wall Street, the Statue of Liberty, the 9/11 Museum and Memorial. One day we walked, that was about an hour and a half walk down there. Again, if you like walking, you can do that. Otherwise, we did take an Uber the other day just so then we knew we would make the ferry on time to go see the Statue of Liberty. Now, we did go see the 9/11 Memorial and Museum. That was actually pretty interesting to see. They did have, I would say, even some bits of information that I didn't even know about. And then we did go see the Statue of Liberty and Ellis Island, and that was something me and my friend, we were very much interested in because our ancestors traveled over from Europe to here, so we wanted to see, could we find anything of theirs, what was kind of going on, things around that nature. And I think what was pretty interesting when it comes to the Ellis Island Museum, it doesn't just cover things at Ellis Island. It covers, I would say, almost all migration. So they talk about periods from 1500s to even before, I would say, Ellis Island was doing the whole process of, bringing people in, screening them, all of that, which I thought was very interesting. And you were able to learn, I would say, a few different things in regards to immigration. In regards to kind of the shows that we went to while we were there, the two that we had planned was, of course, The Outsiders. I had mentioned in a previous video, and I can put that video in the description down below, how The Outsiders was becoming a musical. Now, for myself, me and my friend, we both read the book in middle school. We saw the movie right after we read the book, and we were in love with it. Now, me and her are very much musical people, so we were excited to see, okay, how does this adaptation fare? I think they did a very good job. They did change some things a little bit from the story. Nothing like too major. You still get the same plot and everything, but I think they did change some things in regards to current time, like how things might be going on now. And the music, I think, is really good, and the effects were really good. So I very much recommend, if you are in that area, if you have not seen the show, if you're traveling, you like The Outsiders, I very much recommend you go to see that, because it was a very good musical. We then did go see Wicked. I have not seen Wicked. My friend had seen Wicked, I believe, once, maybe twice before. And she told me, she's like, you will love this musical. You need to see it. And I very much did love that musical. I had heard songs from it, like Defying Gravity, Popular, For Good, but never saw it before. Just never had the opportunity to. And so, again, very much recommend that musical. I know for some people, like me and her, were reading reviews on what people were saying in regards to it. I think it does do a good job in regards to connecting to The Wizard of Oz. I know one of the comments that we were reading, I can't remember when it was posted, but my friend was reading them to me, where essentially they were complaining how it doesn't really match, how, it doesn't make sense. I think it does. I do see maybe from a perspective, because you're not getting a full story of, the time period that is The Wizard of Oz. But even if you take a look at it, and then even to, like, I need to rewatch the movie and see, how, with seeing the musical, how does the movie kind of compare, or how does my view on it change? Do I notice things a little bit differently? So that's something I need to do and see, because my friend was telling me, I believe she had watched it after seeing Wicked, and she's like, your whole perspective is going to change. You're going to see things in a whole different light. So I very much recommend it. Again, if that's something you're really interested in, I know the movie's coming out, so you'll at least see the first part in November. And then we did go see Chicago, because I needed to see Ariana Madix. That was more of like I need to see somebody because I'm here, so we're gonna go see it. But again, a good show, and very much recommend. In regards to some of the, like, we also did the Museum of Broadway, also very much recommend if you love Broadway and musical theater. In regards to food, the food regarding pizza, pasta, bagels, when people say, hey, this thing is very different here, of course, you can take it with a grain of salt. Like I do half the time, because when people say things, and when I think you know what I mean. Like when certain people say that kind of stuff, you're like, I don't think you know what you're talking about. Like, I know your food choices, and like the quality that you wish. So I'm going to take what you say with a grain of salt. But even you constantly hear it from other people to where their opinion, they're like, okay, like if you're saying it, it must truly mean something. I don't know what it is. Honestly, you could probably Google it or somebody knows. The bagels, I get it. Like I get it now. I I think the first time I had a bagel was in college. And then when I started working my job on Fridays, they would bring bagels from Panera. Now, I would just have the Asiago cheese bagel because I mean, that's pretty hard I think sometimes to screw up because it's just cheese baked like on the bagel essentially. And then it would just be a plain cream cheese. So I thought that was pretty good. I'm like, okay, this is fine, but they weren't like to die for. With being in New York, I had bagels twice, and I probably could have a bagel every once in a while. There was something about those. Now, we went to two different ones. The first one, I would say I enjoyed just a tad more. And I don't know if it's because they had the right consistency of schmear to bagel ratio, or if maybe that combo is just really good. One of the two. But that was at Zuckers Bagels. And I got the poppy seed bagel with strawberry schmear. That was delectable. I could have eaten probably another one of those, but I knew I couldn't. The second place we went to, again, it wasn't bad, but it just, I think I had too much schmear. And some of you might be like, you could never have enough schmear. I would agree to an extent, but also I didn't want it overpass. So I had the rainbow bagel. So Liberty Bagels has, at least from what I could tell, two bagels that were unique. So it was a rainbow bagel where essentially it's like rainbow colored. I'm assuming it's just a plain bagel. I didn't really taste anything different to it. And then the Liberty Bagel. So the Liberty Bagel is essentially like red, white, and blue. Again, I'm assuming a plain bagel. You know, nothing. Again, haven't tasted it, but I got the blueberry schmear. And again, for me, it just felt like I was getting too much blueberry, which again, you just have a plain bagel, but it just was a lot. So, but it was still good. So I'm not saying it was terrible. I hated it. And heck, if you like more schmear, maybe that's the place you want to go to. In regards to pasta, again, pasta is one, not saying it's hit or miss, but you can definitely tell the quality in regards to where you go. Now, we only got pasta once, and we went to a place called Patsy's. It was a place that my friend, someone that, her father knew, he recommended it to us, told us a story in regards to Frank Sinatra taking the Yankees out after they had won a game. And so bought them their whole meal. And we were like, yeah, let's go. Like, if this is highly recommended, you know, of course, probably any place pasta wise, you probably couldn't go wrong given the different cultures that you have there. But we were like, hey, this was recommended. It's got an interesting story. Let's go. It was very delicious. We had an excellent time. The service was great. We even talked to the owner, and he was telling us in regards to, that story that I just told. And he was like, yeah, I was just a kid when that happened. So it's a very homey place, and I think it's a place that you would get a great meal. I ate all mine, and normally I don't eat all my pasta. I did here. um, so you will definitely get full. They have different wines and everything, so I very much recommend it. And then in regards to pizza, we went to, of course, Joe's Pizza. One thing for me is me and my friend, we were like, okay, I know like we can't eat a whole pizza, nor do I want to eat a whole pizza because I was very much afraid I have really bad acid reflux. I do take medicine for it to help with that. But sometimes with where I'm at and when I've had pizza and or pasta, like I still get a burning. And I don't know if to me it's something within the sauce. So like if you get let's say a generic Pizza Hut or Domino's, for me I still burn even after if I were to just have two pieces. Heck, even after one I start to feel weird. But here at Joe's, the consistency for me, and like I was a little afraid, but also not, because I feel like if it's authentically made, it shouldn't hurt me, if that makes sense. Like I shouldn't have much of a problem. And I could really tell after one piece, I wasn't feeling gross. I wasn't feeling like, oh my God, I'm gonna have a burning sensation. It was fine. And I was really happy about that. So I very much recommend, and I'm sure any pizza place can do that, but here at Joe's, you could get a slice or you can get a whole pie if you wanted to. We just wanted to get the slice because, again, we knew, like, hey, there's two of us. We can only eat so much. We're not going to eat a whole, like, pie. So we just wanted to go to a place that would give us a slice. And here too, they have a lot of celebrities on the walls that have been to, of course, Joe's Pizza. It premiered or was in a Spider-Man movie. I could not tell you with which one. It just says we were in Spider-Man. And I have not seen all the Tobey Maguire ones, and I haven't seen all the Andrew Garfield ones. So I don't know which one. I've seen the Tom Holland ones, and I don't remember Joe's Pizza being in there. So heck, I could be in one of those, but it was in one of them. So there's a little something to that as well. They have a sign that says that. And then in regards to sushi, so if you want a variety and if you don't mind paying the price, we did sushi blossoms. So essentially, you have two choices. You can sit at a table where all you will get is the 15 courses with a sake pairing if you so choose. However, you only get the 15 courses. At the sushi bar, you have the choice of either a 12 course or a 17 course. And so the 12 course, if I remember correctly, was $85. The 17 course is $125, and the table is $100. So that's for the 15 courses. That was, if you like sushi, if you want a variety, I very much recommend that. It was definitely an experience me and my friend really enjoyed. All we thought about the rest of the trip was sushi blossoms and that sushi, because the fish was very much like butter. And to get that sort of experience and to try different types of sushis and the flavors that they come up with, I think is very unique and very good. Our first course was an oyster, and for me, I had not had oysters yet. I hadn't tried them. I've always wanted to, and it felt like silk. Like, so again, I very much recommend, if that's something that you're interested in, that you would want to do, that you try it out and have that, because it was absolutely to die for. And a lot of the food was very good. We went to Gales our last night because we were going to go to Ellen's Stardust Diner, but that has a wait. So if you want to go to that, essentially you have people there that will sing. Gales has that as well. So Gales, if I remember correctly, it's shared with Friedman's, and it's in one of the hotels. I think it's the Edison. But there you'll have aspiring people who are in Broadway or people who are aspiring to be on Broadway sing different songs. So they'll do requests, they'll sing things that maybe they want to sing. And me and my friend were so happy because our waitress, we watched her sing while we were waiting. And mind you, they're all good. But when we sat down, we were like, oh my God, we're so happy that you're our waitress because we watched you sing. Um, and we called her an icon, called her queen, because she did do a really good job. We really enjoyed it. And just hearing like I said, everyone was really good. So it's not just like, oh, this one person was great. All of them were fantastic. Um, so yeah, I mean, those are the things that I very much recommend. I feel, now mind you, we didn't do everything. We only did, I would say, definitely the touristy stuff. We saw some shows, but we didn't eat anywhere. I feel like, of course, if you look at maybe reviews, the menu, you will definitely get a variety. And some of those things can also be up to you given your area, how much far you want to walk. But I feel like even for me and my friend, we were talking about it. There are things that still we would love to try, but you're only given so much time. So, those are just some recommendations that I have that I experienced. I wanted to share with y'all and see for maybe your trip, maybe these are some places that you want to go and experience. And I will have a list down below on the ones that I had talked about. So then you guys can experience that as well if that's something that you're interested in. So that was kind of the trip. Some of the things that we did. I can definitely go more in depth on some things if that's what people would want by chance, but just kind of wanted to share that and help any of you all out who might be going to New York soon. So I will talk to y'all later. Hope you all have a great week. Bye.